Hi, and welcome back to your Autism Game Plan. I'm Joy Vanderlaan, a family nurse practitioner, a functional medicine specialist, and an autism mom. So today we're going to be talking about glutathione. What is it? Why might it be low? How can it help our kids with autism? So I've had a few questions about glutathione on our various channels, website, YouTube, and I just wanted to go ahead and see if I could address those to clarify any confusion. So glutathione is the most potent antioxidant and detoxifier, and it's actually made in our own bodies. We should be able to make glutathione, but sometimes we don't. And we know that autistic children very often have low levels of glutathione. It could be low for a number of different reasons, which we'll talk about. At a basic level, the body needs cysteine, glutamine, and glycine amino acids in order to make glutathione. But there are several problems with that, including nutrition and absorption, and also genetics. Even if we have those building blocks, maybe our genes aren't efficiently telling our bodies to go ahead and make more glutathione. So let's talk about a few things regarding glutathione so that you can determine if it may be beneficial for your child or if it requires further looking into as something that may be able to help your child improve. One reason that glutathione can be low is because of exposure to different toxins. Toxins could include things like mold, heavy metals, dust particles, allergens in the air, even toxins from things like plastics that they may be eating off of or out of, plastic cups, plastic water bottles, plastic plates, plastic forks. So a lot of things require glutathione, which is why we were created with a mechanism for producing it. However, once again, if we're using more than we're producing, then we're going to have low levels of glutathione, which can then cause toxicity problems and other symptoms. Another reason could be that they're not producing enough glutathione. Well, why would that not be happening? Are they low on cysteine, glutamine, glycine, those essential amino acids needed for making glutathione? Are they maybe eating those amino acids through diet or supplements, but not absorbing them into the system? Maybe the gut is not so healthy, whether that's inflammation due to food allergies or yeast or clostridial overgrowth or some other overgrowth or imbalance or inflammation in the gut, especially children with comorbidities like inflammatory bowel diseases, celiac disease, anything like that. So are they producing enough glutathione? Certain medications cause depletion of glutathione. Tylenol or acetaminophen is the classic one I always think of when I think about glutathione deficiency. Acetaminophen, Tylenol is used in things like pain medications, fever reducers, combination sleeping, over-the-counter products. So make sure you watch out for ingredients. If you're trying to work on your child's glutathione levels or you're giving one of these medications somewhat regularly, know that when you give it, something with acetaminophen is really going to zap or decrease all the glutathione in the body. Sometimes, particularly in autistic children, they just don't have the genetic pathways to efficiently produce glutathione like the rest of us might. What this does is, even though they may be taking in the proper nutrition, the precursors, those amino acids, cysteine, glutamine, glycine, they still may not be producing levels of glutathione that are necessary in order to counterbalance the oxidative stress, so antioxidants, or to sop up and manage, take care of all the toxins to which we're exposed on a daily basis. Glutathione can also be low because of imbalanced gut bacteria. Of course, when those bacteria are present, there's inflammation, oxidative stress requiring more glutathione. But also if the gut is having an overgrowth issue, now we're not absorbing our nutrients as well due to the inflammation. And glutathione is needed in order to carry away waste products of these bacteria and other fungal overgrowth problems. So when those fungus, bacteria, anything dies, glutathione is one of the things that comes in to kind of mop up and take care of getting those nasty toxic particles out of there. So glutathione may be getting used up really fast when there's a yeast or clostridial or fungal or other overgrowth or imbalance in the gut. As you can see, a lot of the factors that can cause low glutathione are very much overlapping with a lot of the issues that our autistic children struggle with. So it seems kind of unfair. They seem to be set up for a number of deficiencies and imbalances, including now this glutathione deficiency. And the thing that really is tough about that is that a glutathione deficiency can then cause worse symptoms otherwise because of increased toxicity and their inability to have that antioxidant activity. So it kind of is this circle that feeds into itself. So getting glutathione levels up, antioxidant and detoxification capacity can be really important to seeing those improvements in our autistic children's symptoms. So what happens if our kids don't have enough glutathione, as they often don't? Well, they can experience the symptoms of oxidative stress and increased toxicity because they're not getting that antioxidation and they're not getting that detoxification from optimal levels of glutathione. So oxidative stress, what would that look like? Well, oxidative stress can affect things like the brain, right? So thinking about things like neurotransmitters and behaviors and sleep, stimming, all sorts of things like that. Also, when our kids have low glutathione levels, glutamate, which is an excitatory pre-neurotransmitter, then if it's excitatory, think about things that are exciting to the brain or overstimulating to the brain, causing maybe anxious behavior, impulsive behavior, stimming, all sorts of things like that, that are pretty classic and bothersome in a lot of cases to our autistic kids, and even, stressful for us to manage and kind of understand as well. Diet is really important when we're considering glutathione, not only because we want to get those 3 amino acids in, the glutamine, glycine, cysteine, but we also want to make sure we're having good diet for our kids because that is part of what helps the gut be healthy. And a healthy gut is a gut that's going to be more likely to digest and absorb and assimilate and use these nutrients to make things, or have a better chance of making things like glutathione. So diet is really important. If you suspect that your child has gut imbalances, which is, again, very likely, then usually where I start is a 5R gut recovery program. And each of the 5 R's stands for a different way of healing the gut, way of managing gut imbalance, dysbiosis, inflammation. Learn more about the 5R program. I outline it in great detail in my course that's coming up, so have an eye out for that. A couple of ways that you can work to increase your child's glutathione level somewhat quickly are supplementing with the precursors. Glutamine, cysteine, glycine, NAC or N-acetylcysteine is a really common supplement to help boost glutathione levels. Now this works best if the child has good absorption and also the proper genetic pathways that are working well and flowing well in order to utilize those precursors into making glutathione. The second way would be to get glutathione infusions or injections through an IV. Now, this is problematic for a lot of kids because this can be traumatic, and, to get an IV in a child who doesn't necessarily want to come near anybody with a needle, it can be a little bit challenging. And then the third way is sublingual glutathione or even topical glutathione, which is, a good option if the other two are not. I would say sublingual, there's a spray, there's also liposomal, which is a capsule that you can take, and lots of liposomal liquids that you can take. There's some thought that having the body make its own glutathione is ideal. In other words, the body would make it inside the cell and distribute it where it needs to go. But again, many times our children are not able to do that. And so one of these options may be what's necessary, at least for a time, especially while you're working on gut health, for example, with your child in order to increase their glutathione levels. Thanks for sticking with me to the end here on glutathione. I hope that I've given you a better understanding, an easier way to understand glutathione and how it affects our children with autism. Remember, be gentle with yourself. You're doing a great job.